Wes Durham is joining us, the voice of the ACC, the reason the conference turns a profit.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good afternoon, or whatever it may be.
I think it's afternoon. I'm not sure.
Yeah, it is. Well, it's 12:30, so yeah, it's afternoon.
What was the most interesting thing to you about last night?
Oh my goodness. That it was over in the first three series. I thought Georgia would win the game.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it had a chance, and I said this on record to Dave Archer during a commercial break because he does Big 12 radio on Sirius XM in addition to working with me on the Falcons because he played at Iowa State. I said to Dave, I really hope this is not Miami, Nebraska at the Rose Bowl.
Mm.
And he said, yeah, without Kendre Miller, he worried that was in the offing.
Oh, sure.
And it was worse.
Way worse.
It was worse. Yeah, and it was. I mean, it was not even close, and it was impressive to how Georgia went out and executed last night, and TCU did nothing to help themselves. I feel bad for TCU. I know kind of how that goes where you're just punchless in a ball game of that magnitude. But, Adam, at the end of the day, Georgia's got this thing rolling. I have no problem with what David Pollack said yesterday on game day. I respect Kirby Smart. I've known Kirby a long time. Hell, I did the games he played in.
Oh, man.
I did. I mean, he played in arguably one of Georgia's most bitter defeats. In 1998, they lost to Georgia Tech in Kirby Smart's senior game. And he knows it. I know it. We laugh about it now, but it is a bitter, bitter pill. But he has done a remarkable job in Athens of creating and Georgia people don't like when I say this too, he's gone Tuscaloosa 2.0 East.
Yeah, he has.
And I'll say this, it's a better landscape for him to be successful long-term than Nick Saban's been in Alabama.
Your partner, Roddy Jones, said that to us yesterday. He said that Georgia is set up to be a better version of Alabama because their in-state recruiting base, they don't ever have to leave the state, and yet they can to go get, Brock Bowers?
Brock Bowers from Napa, California.
Napa?
Yeah, I mean,
Napa?
Noshawn Marino from New Jersey. I mean, it's there even in the Mark Richt days.
Right.
Yeah. Matthew Stafford, Highland Park, Texas. I mean, you take your pick. They are now to a point where I think you have to put them with Ohio State, Alabama. I'll still keep Clemson in there now because I'm for the team, as they say. I'll keep Clemson in there as long as Clemson's willing to get back there.
Right.
And I think they are. And I hope we can add a couple more schools. I'd like to think Florida State's got a shot at some point in the next 3 to 5 years. But I think Georgia is one of those teams right now. And Southern California, until you tackle somebody, I'm not putting you in there.
I agree with you.
It's just that simple with SC.
There are programs that can get to that. So I'm gonna differ from you on the Clemson thing, but I think Clemson can get back to that.
I do.
To me, the difference between Georgia and the rest is Georgia on the offensive and defensive line. I've never seen anything like it in college football. I think Clemson's had it on the defensive line. They haven't had it on the offensive line, and that's what separates them.
Sure.
I think that I could rush for 1,000 yards behind Georgia's offensive line.
Well, the funny thing is that they have running backs, but you don't know who they are.
They all look the same to me.
It's exactly right. From Milton, who they put in there early, to Robinson, who scored the last touchdown. Doesn't matter. And here's the thing, too. The quarterback's good. The quarterback's real good.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't know what he is at the NFL level. I can tell you what I think he is. I think Mike Cavan tweeted today, and Mike Cavan is a notable name at the University of Georgia as it relates to their football program. He was on Vince Dooley's staff. He recruited Herschel Walker. I jokingly tell him he slept on the front porch in Wrightsville, Georgia for a month to make sure. But Mike Cavan tweeted this morning somewhere along the after dark hours that Stetson Bennett's the greatest player in Georgia football history.
Okay. Greatest player versus most decorated are two different things. Just like I use the illusion about Tyler Hansbrough. Is Tyler Hansbrough the greatest North Carolina UNC basketball player of all time?
He's pretty damn close.
Okay, he is great, but he's not better than Jordan.
He's in the first 5, Adam.
He might be. Okay, I'm not even arguing that, but I'm
and
just
he
saying.
He might be in the first 3.
Okay, but he's not in the first 2. And
behind Michael Jordan
and Phil Ford.
Okay.
Right?
All right. Sure. I'll give you. Look, we don't have enough time for that discussion today.
Yeah, that is true.
Just like, but see, here's the other part about Georgia, and I want to get this said because I think it's really important for perspective to take place here. We've dynamically changed the landscape of the game in the last 7 years. We all know that, right? Okay. In the history of the Atlantic Coast Conference Television Network, which is now in its 4th year, 4.
Yeah.
The game has changed dynamically from when we launched in August of 2019 to what it is now, right?
Yep.
I would say this. Georgia has embraced that landscape change, facility challenge, all those things. They've got an athletics director in Josh Brooks, a president in Jerry Moorhead. The alignment, you hear my man Packer talk about all the time, is as strong at Georgia as it is anywhere else. And that includes the other side of the house, the NIL.
Mm-hmm.
That part is real at the University of Georgia. And people can say, well, I don't care. Well, don't care, but understand the methodology behind why they're successful. Do they recruit good players? Absolutely. Are they well coached? Absolutely. Do they have NFL draft talent? Absolutely. But they also have embraced the landscape change at the University of Georgia.
And if you don't become like Alabama will, and Alabama will be right there, and the other schools will, and the other schools that are probably, before NIL would have been right there, the LSUs of the world, the Ohio States, the Michigans,
True.
They'll all be there, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's
sure.
Like the powers probably won't change. I do want to ask you a couple of other questions before we have to say goodbye to Wes Durham, voice of the ACC. By the way, the schedule comes out. ACC football schedule comes out January 30th.
20 days away. Yep.
And I'm going to give you a sneak preview of what I'm going to say on January 30th. Why the hell are we scheduling so many Power 5 games outside of the league? It doesn't help our conference record because just look at what the SEC does.
Well, I would
school.
say this too. Let me ask you this.
Right.
The Southeastern Conference, and somebody tweeted this last night. I think it was Matt Hayes from down in Jacksonville. Georgia's a really good football team. Tennessee, for most of this season, was a really good football team.
Yep.
At the end of the year, Alabama was a very good football team.
Yeah.
Just because Georgia beat TCU 65-7 or whatever it was last night does not mean Mississippi State was any good. Does not mean that Arkansas would have beaten anybody of note.
Correct.
Does not mean Missouri. I like Eli Drinkwitz fine. Does not mean that Shane Beamer did beat Clemson and Shane Beamer won a bowl game.
They had a good year.
Or no, lost a bowl game to Notre Dame, but they beat Tennessee and they beat Clemson. Good for Shane Beamer. That does not mean that whole damn league is the best 15 football teams, 16 football teams in the country.
Right. I'm with you. I'm with you on that.
And the most ardent SEC fan will go, well, Vanderbilt we know is not any good. Well, I'm here to tell you there's some others that aren't any good.
Right.
Okay.
And there's room to grow. We'll just be generous to the University of Florida, right? There's room to grow for the Gators. There's room to grow.
There's room to grow at in all honesty, there's room to grow
A&M.
at Florida. There's room to grow at A&M.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, but that's what I'm saying.
Georgia
was
a
NIL dominant football program. Oh, my gosh.
Their NIL.
Well, don't forget the quarterback at Rice next year got $350,000 in his year at Georgia.
Oh, well, it's
good. Did I say that the right way? I think I did.
I think you did too.
Okay,
right,
go ahead.
So going in, and this came out of a conversation I was having after Tulane beat USC.
Sure.
Oh, man, just wait till we get to the expanded playoff. We're going to see these upsets all the time. What are they saying? Because last night was Cinderella. TCU was Cinderella. They're perfectly situated as a Power 5 conference champion that's seated somewhere in the 6, 7, 8 range that's just going to get trucked when they meet up against one of those.
But if the landscape still remains volatile, I'm not going to bet against the bank.
No, I think the same teams are going to win.
I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to bet against the bank. And I hate to say it that way, but
the house always wins.
Yeah, and the house right now is in Birmingham with Greg Sankey.
Right. No,
paying $1 a year on the rent in the building.
But even, if you just said Georgia, Alabama, Ohio State, the house being the powers that we know.
Okay, let's go Georgia, Alabama, Ohio State, and I'll throw in Southern Cal for fun.
Yeah, when they get a defense?
Let's throw in Clemson for fun.
That is a lot of fun.
Okay, so let's throw in the ACC champ, a Big Ten. Give me your best Big 12 in Georgia, or Alabama, Georgia, Ohio State.
I wouldn't
Clemson.
even throw in the Big 12 there, to be perfectly honest.
Then it's all right. So let's go that route. What does that mean for the other games? I have no idea.
Fun.
Yeah, okay, sure.
But we'll end up with the same teams.
But we still haven't gotten to the. And this is a longer discussion too. We still haven't gotten to the upheaval of the mechanics of how this is going to work when it goes to a campus. Everybody thinks they got it figured out. They don't. I'm promising you, because I've heard about the problems that's going to be on campus. Every season ticket holder's not going to get a ticket.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
That's going to be a problem.
Just saying. Most of them will. All of them won't.
Right. That's going to be a problem.
Where's the investment piece going to be? Everybody envisions it being like next weekend in the NFL. I don't envision that.
I agree.
I envision like if your school is a Pepsi school, that logo being covered up on the scoreboard type thing.
Yeah, okay.
Just saying.
There are definitely going to be complications. And exams, Wes. Just kidding.
Oh, no. The presidents, they got that worked out. Adam, are you kidding me? By the way, has anybody checked with Governor Baker? Was he at the game last night?
I don't know. He might have been.
Yeah.
He might have been.
I know the outgoing president was not at the game last night.
No? Oh, well.
I understand the outgoing president of the NCAA could not make it.
Oh, that's too. What was he doing?
Well, caking a check.
He was packing up his own office.
Yep.
I don't know.
There
All right. Wes Durham, you're the best. I look forward to the ACC schedule release.
I do too. I look forward to being at Cameron tomorrow night for Pitt and Duke.
Oh, look at you. We just talked to, I just gave it away. We talked to Jason Cable before the show, so we'll have Jason Cable on later.
Jason Cable?
Yes. Jeff Cable's busy
I'm well aware.
coming up with a game plan to go to
old number 25 in
the
the Bowl Boys and Bashful Blue. Jason Cable, old number 25.
That is true. I think Pitt's – I like Pitt's chances.
Nice and here's the thing too. I was encouraged a little bit after a disappointing bad loss last Wednesday night. What I saw Saturday at Boston College, I'm interested to see how the momentum goes tomorrow night at Cameron.
Better have Jeremy Roach.
Not playing from what I was told yesterday.
That's a problem.
Could be. We'll see.
That's a problem.
It's going to be a fun game though.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. All right, Wes. We'll talk to you later.
Thanks, AG.
Be well.